Greetings and felicitations, and from Geek Public Broadcasting, this is Unboxing. I'm your host, Zayton1. I apologize a little bit if I sound a little off. I got a little over the cold. I actually had to stop recording in the middle of these for a few days because I got like a cold or bronchitis or something. So if I sound a little off, I do please apologize. But today on Unboxing, we have the Star Wars X-Wings Miniatures Heroes of the Resistance Expansion Pack. And of course, Heroes of the Resistance is from Star Wars The Force Awakens. We have the newer version of the Millennium Falcon with the new square radar dish and everything. And we have Poe Dameron's Black X-Wing. I'm really excited for this one. I actually really enjoyed this movie. And I really like flying the T-70s. And I've recently gotten a little bit better at flying the big ships. I didn't used to be super great. But so I'm actually excited to see the new X-Wing, or the new Falcon. So let's go ahead and start opening this up. And there's the ships there. And picking up this side, go ahead to get to our cards. All right. So we're going to go ahead and, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and look at these models first real quick. Oh, wow, he came out real nice and easy. Came out real nice and easy, like. So I guess we'll go ahead and look at you first. Look at that there. Like I said, of course, I already really love the current model they have for the T-70, and I think this black variant is just very, very nice. I actually see quite a few people online attempted to repaint theirs. I had even considered trying to get someone to paint mine, so I'm glad that I waited because this is actually really nice. This is way better than I probably would have done with my little first attempt at it. But yeah, it's your basic T-70, but it's the, the black and orange variant, the black one, as they've called it. And of course we have our new Falcon. And I wish I had grabbed my old Falcon to go ahead and show you guys a comparison. But look at that. You can see it's actually very similar, but there's a few key differences that are really nice. You'll see a little bit more of the yellow like right through here that I don't recall being in the last one. And you'll see one of the big things is that the nice painted engines back here, which they did not have in the first one. This one looks a lot nicer. And of course the square satellite dish from when it got busted off had to go ahead and be replaced. So that's another really nice model. This is a really nice version of the Falcon. My version actually has this little piece here is loose. It's actually nice to have one that's not flapping around where I'm worried it's going to fall out. And it's really nice looking. Let's go ahead and get these on the stands just so we can kind of have them in the back. And I'm going to try to go through this one pretty quickly because there's two ships. I don't want this video to last forever, so I'm going to try to power through this one a little bit more than I might usually. Because that means there's going to be a lot of cards in this one. We're going to have a lot to get through. But just real quick, yeah, that looks really nice. That's your T-70. Oh, and as you guys will see, I finally got my new X-Wing mat in. I've been really excited for that. I've been wanting to play just not at my local store, but be able to practice at home because as many of you may or may not know, I have another channel called Co-Play where I do Let's Plays, and my roommate Devil's Big E is on that, and he actually lives with us, and we both play X-Wing. So it'd be really nice to be able to play at home with a nice mat and not trying to like makeshift one if we can't make it into the store and we just want to practice amongst ourselves. Plus, the tournaments that we run, we always end up needing an extra mat anyway, so that would be nice. So we got both of those in the back there. Let's go ahead and set this stuff to the side. And now, as I always say, one of the big things for any expansion is the cards. So you got your rules. Yep, you get your nice special moves there. Yeah, mission and everything. Let's set these aside. Go ahead and set this aside. Oh, sorry about that. That's a little loud. I'll try to get that to be lower. Okay, here we go. As always, the meat and potatoes of X-Wing is your cards and your upgrades. Alright, so as you see, you have your YT-1300, aka the Millennium Falcon as most people know it. You have your maneuver dials. They're pretty much the same as the old maneuver dials. Obviously, these are just newer versions of those ships. So here's your basic T-71. I always really like these Talon Rolls. That's actually what really makes me like this ship. I adore that move. And of course your YT. Say always pretty good. I actually like this one as far as big ships go. And here we go. You actually see that, that's interesting there. You got the no fire token. You'll see why we have that in a bit. Okay, and we are back now that we got everything cleared out of the way. We're going to go ahead and start looking at the cards. The first card that we have in this pack is Han Solo. This is, I don't know how people are referring to this. Some people are saying, I don't know. Like, you could call him Old Han because he's an old man, but then you might be thinking of the whole Old Han is in the Old Han card, so it's a little interesting there. But he actually has a different pilot skill now. He's gotten a little age on him. Of course, just like Han before, pilot skill 9. He's got 46 points, your EPT, your missiles, and 2 crew slots. You got 3 attack, 1 evasive, 8 hull, 5 shields. Of course, this has a turret, primary weapon. And we have, when you are placed during setup, you can be placed anywhere in the play area beyond range 3 of enemy ships. So this is actually really interesting. It's one of those moves that you only get to do it once. You don't, like, it's not a persistent move that's going to help you all the time. But that one time that you use it, it really should hopefully help change the flow of the game. Just being able to place, that pretty much means you can be placed anywhere in the play area as long as you're outside of range 3 of an opponent. So you can set up, if your opponent's sitting up back here, you can go ahead and say, okay, let's just say this is range 3. You can just set right there. Just be waiting for him to come out, or set up right here. That way, you can do maybe a wind tight and come right along using your turret or something. Or maybe you're using Ray, so you're gonna, sit here. That way they come out. You're gonna like K-turn or something. Have them still right in your sights. All right, so that's really useful. I don't even know why I said Ray, because you wouldn't be able to place like that, but still, if you had any ability that you just wanted to get in there. So Han Solo, I actually like that. I don't know how much I'd use it. It's going to be very situational, depending on who you're flying against as well, and whether you'd even want to, how useful that's going to be. And there's Han Solo. Now we have Ray. This is what I've been waiting for. I was hoping that they would re-release this so that we could have Ray Infinite and whatnot. So I'm really glad they did. Pilot skill 8. 45 points. Still has the EPT. It says, when attacking or defending, if the enemy ship is inside your firing arc, you may reroll up to 2 of your blank results. So that's another really nice card for Ray. Once again, I always really like when it's thematic. I feel like that is really thematic, and you'll really see why once we get to the crew cards. But just a little bit that we saw Ray flying the Falcon, just the idea that she's like spinning around and trying to keep people in her arc. And she's getting, extra for that is really cool. I really like that, actually. And you'll see, actually, I didn't show you the, you'll see once we have the title as well, some of the new moves that Ray can do that can help out with that pilot skill. Then we have Chewbacca. Chewbacca at pilot skill 5, 42 points, still with his EPT and everything. After another friendly ship at range 1 to 3 is destroyed, but has not fled the battlefield, you may perform an attack. So this is going to be really nice if you're flying like swarms or something. It doesn't say who has to destroy it either. So it can you could be destroying it yourself. If you think about it, you can take a bunch of, Z95s, and you're just gonna, pretty much just kamikaze right into they're cheap anyway, right to the enemy, Each time that they go off, he's going to get a free attack, and free attacks are really nice, because it also doesn't say during the attack phase. It says after another enemy ship at range 1 to 3 is destroyed. So that means you can be in the middle of moving around, they get destroyed. Something happens, they run over a bomb or something, they do something, and Chewbacca's gonna go ahead and get a shot. It's really nice. And then of course we have what's nice now that they fixed this for the Falcon or the YT-1300 is Resistance Sympathizer. Now we have a generic that has the same stats as the other ships. As you know, they were kind of experimenting when they came up with the Falcon of say a generic that has less like that. I always felt like that didn't make a whole lot of sense because they're still flying the same ship. The guns on the ship didn't change anything like that. So anything that you want to make different should probably be in ability. So I'm glad that they have. He's a little bit more now, 38, but Pilot Skill 3 you do now have, a decent generic YT-1300. And that's it for the YT-1300 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and push those on up. That way we can, since we got two ships in this thing, we're going to go ahead and look at the second ship. So we have the new Poe Dameron, the Poe Dameron that actually makes sense. The Poe Dameron that's the best pilot in the Resistance. Finally at a pilot skill 9. 8 was a little low before. For as good as this guy was in that film, it was almost like clear that they hadn't seen it yet. And then they almost had to like go back and change it. They're like, okay, so he's good, whatever. They're like, okay, we didn't know he was that good. Let's go ahead and bump him up. So they go ahead and bump him up. They bump him up by 2 points as well. So it's pretty much like they put a Veteran Instincts built into his card now, which people were having to take anyway if they wanted to bump him up. So much like your other T70s, you get 3, 2, 3, and 3. I always really liked that. Focus, target lock, and now you get a boost, which I don't believe the old X-Wings had, the T65s. And of course you have your EPT, you have your torpedoes, you have your Astromech, and the new, I believe it's tech upgrade. And Poe's ability is actually the same as it was before. While attacking or defending, if you have a focus token, you may change one of your focus results to a hit or evade result. So pretty much when you have that one, as long as you have the focus token on you, you're going to get that. Oh no, and I'm getting the low battery, so let's go ahead and get moving on. Nien Nub is coming at pilot skill 7, 29 points, still with the EPT. When you receive a stress token, if there's an enemy ship inside your firing arc at range 1, you may discard that stress token. This is going to be really nice if you're going to go ahead and chase people around. Which I like doing. I like doing that, so it's pretty cool. Snap Wexley comes in at 6, still with the EPT at 28 points. After you execute a 2, 3, or 4 speed maneuver, if you're not touching an enemy ship, you may perform a free boost action. I really like that. I like to dance around, as some people call it. So anytime I'm getting free movement actions, that's really what I like looking for. Those are the cards, that's the abilities I really like, so that's good. And Jespava, pilot skill 3, no EPT for this one, but only 25. When attacking or defending, you may reroll 1 of your dice for each other friendly ship at range 1. So this one's going to be really good if you're flying in formation, something like that. And then of course we have the old Red Squad Veteran and Blue Squadron Novice. Red Squadron Veteran I actually really like because he has the EPT still. So I actually, the first tournament I won, I was actually flying one of these. So I really like that. Okay, so those are our ship cards. Okay, and now we are back to show you the, we're going to go ahead and show you. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at these upgrade cards. We have Trick Shots, 0 point EPT. All right, when attacking, if the attack is obstructed, you may roll 1 additional attack die. Ooh, I really like that. It's really nice. That's for people that, somebody that's going to be hiding around a lot. You're getting that extra die off. And it's 0, so it's almost for me like an auto include. If you just don't have the points for something else, you might as well get an extra die when somebody's hiding. Oh, when you get 2 of those, I really like that. I mean, they expect you to take those a lot. Finn. My boy Finn. I love this character. Me and my wife adored Finn. Let's see. Finn's, of course, crew unique, rebel only. When attacking with a primary weapon or defending, if the enemy ship is inside your firing arc, you may add one blank result to your roll for 5 points. I think he's a little expensive. I'd like to see him come in at 4, but you see he combos really well with Rey, who of course could reroll all of her blanks. And of course, as long as you're keeping them in arc, it's going to be really good for you. Of course, you could still use them with other things, maybe target lock or something like that. There's a few different cards that you could mess around with that. Let's see. Maybe advanced proton torpedoes just off the top of my head. That could work, because maybe I'd have to look at the turn order with that, because I believe you can change all your blanks to focuses with that. Let's see. Hotshot Co-Pilot. A crew for 4 points. When attacking with a primary weapon, the defender must spend one focus token if able. When defending, the attacker must spend one focus token. So this is really I really like this. This is essentially just trying to get people to spend up those, or make sure that they have those focuses. Spend up those focuses real quick. That way you can kind of soften them up something. I like that. Trying to get rid of those focuses so they can be out of your way of maybe somebody else coming in to get a shot. Let's see, Rey, another crew for 2 points, rebel only. At the start of the end phase, you may place one of your ship's focus tokens on this card. At the start of the combat phase, you may assign one of those tokens to your ship. So she's almost like Gonk, it seems like, but instead of shield, she uses focus. So you're pretty much using Rey to store up focus and throw them back on you when it's convenient. So I can actually see that getting a lot of use. I like that. M9G8, an astromech, a unique astromech. When a ship you have locked is attacking, you may choose one attack die. The attacker must re-roll that die. You can acquire target locks on other friendly ships. Ooh, so that's a little comboing going as well. So it's almost like the evasiveness. Something like that. If I remember right, yeah, evasiveness makes you so you can reroll, can force them to reroll an attack die. Of course, this is if you have a target lock, but since it can be on a friendly ship, that means you can make them reroll. So that's really nice. You get support card. Burnout Slam. This is what I was talking about before, and it's of course this isn't a listen. And if you watch my other videos, you know that somebody on here is getting a listen. I don't know. It says large ship only, so. We only got one large ship in this upgrade, but your action bar gains the slam action. After you perform the slam action, discard this card. Of course, the slam action is when you get the weapon's disable token. Usually seen on the K-Wing, but this is really nuts because I remember right in canon, that's another thematic thing, was that the Falcon actually was capable of doing a burnout slam. So that's really nice, and it's illicit, and it's only 1 point, and you'll see how we're going to be able to get that on our ships here soon. Prime Thruster, small ship only tech upgrade. Yes, we're getting more tech upgrades. Stress tokens do not prevent you from performing boost or barrel roll actions unless you have 3 or more stress tokens. And this again, really nice if you like to dance around like I do. Especially if you throw like vectored thrusters on this thing, so you get the barrel roll. So now that means you're getting boosted and barrel rolls. And you could take something like it means that you can take something like, take something that's going to give you stress and go ahead and not really worry about it. Like sometimes I take evasiveness, sometimes, push the limit's probably the most obvious one where you're going to be building up that stress and you'll still be able to move around. But I do like, I like evasiveness for Ezra. That's just kind of my thing with the Ezra build. I like making it so it's hard to ever get rid of him. He gets really on people's nerves, which I think is appropriate for Mr. Space Latin. But another tech for 2 points, Pattern Analyzer. When executing a maneuver, you may resolve the check pilot stress step after the perform action step, instead of before that step. So essentially, this just lets you change the order that things are done in. This will actually be really useful if you are going to do moves that are going to give you stress a lot. Because of course that means that we can now still get an action. We'll still get the stress, but we get to do the action first, and then we get to take the stress on, if I remember correctly. So that can be very useful. Oh, and we got 2 pattern analyzers, and that was hiding behind that snapshot. 2 points. EPT, it is an attack. Ooh, and at range 1. After an enemy ship executes a maneuver, you may perform this attack against that ship. So once again, it doesn't have to be during the attack phase. Anytime they perform a maneuver, attack. Attack one ship, you cannot modify your attack dice, and you cannot attack again this phase. This phase, it says. So if you're doing this during, you're still moving around, then by the time you get to the attack phase, it's a different phase, so you should be able to do it again. I can see this working really well on swarms, especially because swarms, it's kind of easy to keep like, because yeah, it's only 2 and it's unmodified, but imagine you got like a bunch of them, you got like 3 or 4 ships pointing at somebody, and they move, and they're all range 1, they're getting shot a bunch of times. See, we got 2, so I think Fantasy Flight was thinking the same thing, because they gave us 2 of them, something you're going to be using a lot. Millennium Falcon, new Millennium Falcon title, YT1300 title only, 1 point. After you execute a 3-speed bank maneuver, and if you are not touching in the ship, and if you're not stressed, you may receive 1 stress token to rotate 180 degrees. So you'll be able to do one of those, I'm sorry, the name is it's gave me right now of what that move is called. But yeah, so since you're going to be able to go ahead and bank and flip around, that's going to make it much easier for someone like Ray to keep you in her sights. I think this is all really thematic of that, that awesome scene where they just like, okay, I can't line up the shot. We're going to cut the Falcon's engines and like do this weird flip around and point her right directly at it, and Finn's going to get off that one amazing shot. Ray and Finn just doing amazing stuff, doing an amazing combo, and now you can do a similar combo here in X-Wing, so I really like that. The Black One, T-70 X-Wing title only. After you perform a boost or a barrel roll action, you may remove 1 enemy target lock from a friendly ship at range 1. You cannot equip this card if your pilot skill is 6 or lower. So for 1 point, I like that. I don't think we have any titles for X-Wings, so I mean, it's a slot that there's not a lot of competition for, so if you got an extra point, why not? It's always nice to get rid of target locks. And the Integrated Astromech. I'm glad they gave us more of these because we didn't get a whole lot of them before. For those of you that don't already know what Integrated Astromech is, it's an X-Wing only modification, meaning it just says X-Wing, so it can go on your T-65s as well. It's 0 points, so it's pretty much an auto-include now. When you are dealt a damage card, you may discard 1 of your Astromech upgrades to discard that damage card without resolving its effects. So it essentially gives you an extra point of damage for sacrificing your Astromech. And I think in any cases, for me, I usually use this before I'm about to die. I'd rather get rid of the Astromech, even if my build was built around it, than have my ship be dead. Because as you know, in X-Wing, it doesn't matter how much you survive by, as long as you survive. And I've had it where that Integrated Astromech has kept me alive long enough to not get my ship blown up and win me that particular round. So that's really, really good. And the last card we have, Smuggling Compartment, which I think is going to be, it's a fun card. Smuggling Compartment, and really, it's really thematic as well, which I always like. YT1300 and YT2400 only, modification limited. So they are limited, but this can go on either of the YT. So if you're flying that Outrider, then you can put that on here as well. Your upgrade bar gains the illicit upgrade icon. You may equip 1 additional modification upgrade that costs 3 or fewer squad points. I like that that's 0 and you get the illicit. The only thing is that it's more of an opportunity cost because now you're losing, like, you're losing either engine upgrade or shield upgrade or a hull upgrade, which are the 2 major things that you're taking on something like the Falcon. Like the Falcon without, engine upgrade is craziness. So it's telling you can't do that. So you'll have to think of some more creative ways to outfit your YT1300. But the fact that you still get one, the fact that you still get a modification as long as it's cheap enough is really nice. Plus you get the illicit. So there, oh, sorry about hitting that camera. So now with our time almost gone, there we have it. That is every single card that we have in this Hero of the Resistance upgrade for X-Wing miniatures. Actually, been waiting for this one for a long time. I really liked the movie, and so I'm really glad to have these upgrades. I like having the new models and everything. So I'd say that this one is a definite buy if you fly Rebels. I'd actually put this on the list of maybe I'll make a video like that one day. I saw someone else did one, but it was a few years old at this point. Like the recommended what you should buy first of some type if you're going to start playing X-Wing. And I definitely would say I think this is one of them, along with the Aces pack, because you get both of these awesome ships. You get plenty of awesome upgrade cards that really set you up to with an original pack, with a starter pack and maybe this, that gives you a few ships that you can fly around and mess around with. So I'd say this is a definite buy. But that has been this. I thank you all for watching. This has been Unboxing from Geek Public Broadcasting, and remember, we encourage you all to engage brightly. Thanks. Bye.
Right.